Hello, and welcome to the third annual Wishful Thinking mock draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers 2020 edition. Now, this draft probably could not have come at a better time. Let me correct that. Could have come at a worse time in the history of time, but as far as a distraction from the general outside world, the miserableness of the day-to-day, politics and everything else run rampant, it could not have come at a better time. I'm glad they did not delay it. There was rumors that they were going to delay it. Unfortunately, my favorite event, the Steelers draft party, Fan Blitz at Heinz Field, was canceled for this year. I met a lot of you there. I was looking forward to meeting a lot more of you there that watch these videos. So it's a bummer because it's my favorite event of the year, but that unfortunately was canceled. But at least we do have a draft, something to distract ourselves, to not think about the outside world and just think about football coming back eventually someday. So when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, a lot of the analysts seem to think they're the most, complete roster in the NFL. I've heard that on a few different shows. I've watched your mock drafts. I have watched the highlights. I have watched the analysts' mock drafts. I've watched YouTube mock drafts. I've watched a lot of mock drafts. And like every year, I have my favorite players. And it's a shiny new toy. It's Steelers Christmas. It's every NFL team's Christmas. They get a shiny new toy. Now, unfortunately, our shiny new toy won't be until pick 49. The entire day one is off the books for us, and there's a reason for that. With the 18th pick in the first round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Minkah Fitzpatrick, safety, Alabama. Do you think Minkah's going to be there at 18? He won't. I can tell you that right now. He won't because he's ours. We have him. We got our gift early. We got our Steelers Christmas gift a year early. This dude made impacts in games. He changed the course of games. I would say he won 3 games that the Steelers would not have won if he had not been there. He's worthy of a first-round pick. The Steelers media, these people crying, oh, we don't have a first-round pick. What are we going to do? We don't have a first-round pick. You have a first-round pick. He's already on the roster. He's 22 years old. He'll be here for the next 10 years. That's your pick. He's great. So I have no problems with the Steelers trading that pick. I think it was a great value. Dude's an all-pro in his first year. I feel that he's going to be an all-pro for years to come. He's that good. So I'm happy with the pick. I'll take it. Now let's get down to the real nitty-gritty. The true Steelers draft. There are some holes that need to be filled. I think they can be filled in this draft. How many times have we seen players that were projected in the first round, they fall to mid 2, late 2, could be for a variety of reasons. Could be because they didn't like the color suit they wore. You have no idea why these people fall, but sometimes there's character issues and things like that, or injury concerns, but sometimes they just fall. Like, think about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers just fell, almost out of the first round. So, with that being said, let's go through this mock draft. Are you ready? Are you prepared for Steelers Christmas? With the 49th pick in the second round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Grant Delpit, safety, LSU. Okay, pick is in. Pick 49, second round, Pittsburgh Steelers select Grant Delpit, safety, LSU. Now, based on the projections, this dude is supposed to be taken end of the first round. He's arguably, I would say, the best safety in this draft. He played through a nagging ankle injury last year, and there are tackling concerns with him. But He is a dynamic safety that comes from a school that all they do is produce dynamic safeties in LSU. I feel that he's on that line with it. And if he's there at 49, which has been rumored for some reason or another, whether people were concerned about the ankle, concerned about the tackling, if he's there at 49, the Steelers run that card to, obviously you can't run the card to the stage. There's going to be no stage. We're going to be watching a company Zoom meeting for 3 days. Basically, only it happens to be the NFL draft. So they're going to email or text message or call in that card. I would say they'd call it in as soon as humanly possible, because this dude with Minka, with Fitzpatrick, those two together, and look, we can, there's such a thing as buyer's remorse. I don't know whose project Edmonds was. He shouldn't have been a first-round pick. And in 2 years now, he's shown that he is not worth a first-round pick. They wasted that pick. They wasted it. They completely wasted that pick. Edmonds was not the pick they should have made in that draft. I understand they were looking at Van Der Esch. They were looking at Evans. They were both gone when the Steelers picked. Maybe he was the highest player on their board. I'm not sure why, because people were projecting him as a day 3. And I went over this in a video about whether he was a reach or not. Well, it's been 2 years. It's safe to say he's a reach. He can tackle. We've seen issues of, we've seen situations where he has made tackles, but that's just about what he can do. His coverage technique is basically consisted of him. Somebody catches a touchdown behind him and he looks around and he shakes his head all disappointed. That's his main coverage technique. He is a liability in coverage. A liability. Arguably, the weakest link on the defense is Terrell Edmonds. You bring Delpit in there and have him compete with Edmonds for the job, or you move Edmonds to the dimebacker spot. That was where Mark Barron was. He can, like I said, he can tackle. The coverage is still a concern, but at the dimebacker position, when you have 3 safeties on the field and you have those safeties being Fitzpatrick, Delpit, Edmonds, do I feel a lot better about that. A lot better about that. So if Delpit is there, I know a lot of people wanted Dobbins. I know a lot of people, had mentioned Dobbins, Jonathan Taylor, some of the other running backs. Like I said, here's the thing with running backs. Beyond James Conner's durability, Benny showed something last year. I'm not saying I'm not going to take a running back, because I very well may, wink, wink. But Benny showed something last year. Samuels has shown things at times as well. Are you getting rid of one of them? Are you keeping 4 running backs on the roster if you draft one? If you draft one high, or is, Samuels hitting the bricks? Because I assume they would keep Benny, but I don't know, to be honest, because Samuels is your change of pace. Benny and Connor kind of have a similar running style. So, the pick, Grant Delpit, he may not be there, but in case he is, the Steelers have to make that pick. They have a safety depth need, and Edmonds is not what they thought he was. And most of us knew that when they drafted him, but even more so now. So the top pick, may not be the sexy running back you want, but it's Grant Delpit, safety, LSU. It would be a steal if he's there. With the 102nd pick in the 3rd round compensatory selection, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jack Driscoll, offensive tackle, Auburn. A lot of waiting around in this draft. A lot of waiting. So at the end of the 3rd round, compensatory pick 102, 3rd round, the Steelers select Jack Driscoll, offensive tackle, Auburn. This dude is... he started 40 consecutive games for Auburn. He is a tried and true right tackle. Now, people would say, and I've heard them say anytime that they put an offensive lineman, you want someone with versatility and you want someone with, that can play multiple positions. Well, they brought in Stefan Wisniewski. I think he's going to be the guy that's going to get the first crack at the left guard position myself. I really think he's going to be the starter day one. This dude started 2 of the last 3 Super Bowl teams starting guard. He has rings to back up that play. Now, yes, he did start 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls for the winning team. Unfortunately, he never started the season at that, and that's probably the biggest concern you have, is that why didn't he start the season as the starter? And could be because his play dictated that he didn't have he didn't beat out the guy in front of him. So, are they bringing him as depth, or are they bringing him in as the guy? The rumor was they were always kicking Filer to left guard. Chooks would be the right tackle. Chooks would be the right tackle. You have Banner as a swing, and now you have Wisniewski kind of floating around, taking various positions, should injuries and things pop up. Which is fine. I mean, it could be better, but you bring in Driscoll, who is a monster tackle, very durable, and now you have an interesting thing. Now you have a battle. You could move Filer inside, and the battle for right tackle could be between Driscoll and Chooks. Now, Chooks should have the advantage on that because he's been in the system for 2 years, but maybe this dude beats him out. Either way, you need depth. You need to get younger on the offensive line. There are other tackles and things out there. There are ones that are tried and true left tackles. The concern with Villanueva is he's getting older. He's not been as good as he's been in previous season. I mean, let's call it what we will. He's 30, going to be 32, I think, this year. So maybe you want a tried and true left tackle. I'd say, Villanueva has 1 year left on his deal. You have another draft next year. You have another offseason next year. I wouldn't necessarily need to find a replacement for him immediately, but I'd say Driscoll will shore up the right tackle position, either just by his presence and depth or by actually taking the job. So, 3rd round, Jack Driscoll, offensive tackle, Auburn. With the 124th pick in the 4th round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Leki Fotu, defensive tackle, Utah. 4th round. 2 picks in the 4th round. And I am taking, with 124, the first pick in the 4th round, Leki Fotu, interior defensive tackle, Utah. This dude is mammoth. 6'5", 330. Now, I know a lot of people like Hargrave. They're sad to see him go. I'm sad to see him go. Hargrave was a smaller defensive tackle. There were times when he would, plug up the center and guard, but it was few and far between. Now, he could get through. He could knock a center or a guard completely flat and get through, but he wasn't a person that was taking up 2 offensive linemen. This dude, this Fotu dude, this guy can. He is like he's bigger than, he's one of those dudes that you just plug and play. You just plug him in the middle. Now, he's raw. I think this dude comes in and becomes your day one starter at DT. I think he has that ability. Obviously, it's 4th round. There's no guarantees, but I really think he has the ability to step in, slay, to do what a defensive tackle hasn't done for us since Casey Hampton, and just be that big eater that, you can't run a draw with this giant dude in there. In the hopes that it was McCullers that would be able to do that, but he just doesn't. I mean, he's huge, but he does not have the ability to, and I think this guy does have the goods. With the 135th pick in the 4th round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select A.J. Dillon, running back, Boston College. Okay, 2nd pick of the 4th round, a name I have not really heard too much in many mock drafts, a name that I certainly haven't seen in any Steelers mock drafts that I've seen. How about A.J. Dillon, running back, Boston College? This dude is 6 feet tall. He's 247, runs a 4.5 40. Was the all-time leading rusher at Boston College. He, has a Derrick Henry-like, body type in terms of that he can move. He's a giant running back that can move. I mean, you're talking, that LeGarrette Blount type, that Derrick Henry type, something that the Steelers don't really have on their roster currently. Now, you could say that they could, they could easily have grabbed Dobbins in the second round, and that would be someone that they don't have anybody like Dobbins. But this guy is huge. He can be had in the 4th round. He has the ability, I feel, to be a runner that can then take over the starting running back position with a different type of running back. A big, sturdy, I wouldn't necessarily say like Jerome Bettis, but more like a Derrick Henry type runner. A dude that can break out with 4.5 speed and yet bury a safety. Bury a corner. He can do that. And he can run past certain corners and safeties too, because that's 4.5 speed. Generally, sometimes there's always these guys that are at the combine and they do freak of nature stuff and they end up not amounting to anything. I think this dude has the goods. I'm really high on him. I really think he would be an impact player for the Steelers. Plus, all-time leader Boston College, big body. Other than the fact that the wheels may fall off someday, which you could describe any running back that occurring, not too many injury concerns. The concern with Connor is obviously the big one, that he cannot handle the rigors of a 16-game season. That's not to say this A.J. Dillon dude can handle the rigors of a 16-game season either, but I'm willing to give it a shot for the value in the 4th round. I think it's a steal of a pick. It may be the steal of the draft. I really feel that confident about this dude. I like how he runs. I like how he plays. I really am high on him, and I think he'll be a huge impact for the Steelers. All right, 6th round, and a trade has occurred. Pittsburgh Steelers are trading their 6th round pick, maybe even a pick next year, like a later pick, 6 or 7, to the Arizona Cardinals. Why? For Hakeem Butler. Hakeem Butler was drafted last year, the Arizona Cardinals, in the 4th round. But here's the thing about Arizona. Arizona has 9 million receivers currently. They traded for Hopkins. They have Christian Kirk. They have Old Man Fitzgerald. They have, and that's no knock on Fitzgerald. I love Fitzgerald. I wish he'd be a Steeler. I would love to. I'd take Fitzgerald now. But anyway, Hopkins, Kirk, Fitzgerald, Andy Isabella, Keyshawn Johnson, who they're high on, Hakeem Butler. That's your 6th receiver. It's your 6th receiver. He might not even make the team. He was injured all last year. He is another one of these freak athletes. He is a 6'4", 6'5", somewhere in that 6'5", 227. Flies off it. Now, there are drop concerns. Obviously, with him being injured last year, there are injury concerns. But you're trading a 6th round pick. You're trading maybe a 6th round pick next year to sweeten the pot. Or they may take it just for a 6th for a dude that may not make the roster. Do they say no? I don't think they say no, to be honest. I think they think that he's not going to make the roster. And I think by the time Fitzgerald retires, whenever that, I think they thought Fitzgerald was going to retire already. So you double dip and you get Isabella and you get Hakeem Butler in the same drafts. Well, Fitzgerald did not retire. So Hakeem Butler, like I said, may not make the team. He'd make our team because he has what no one in that wide receiver room has. He has size. He has speed. He can break open the game. I think he would be great on the Steelers. I really do. I know certain people are not high on him. They're concerned about his drops. I'd be concerned about his drops. But there were other receivers that the Steelers took that they were concerned about Martavis Bryant when they drafted him and his drops. Have to have someone that brings something different to the table. I think Hakeem Butler can be had. I've read nothing on this. This is just all me. I don't even know if this is something where they'd be willing to deal him and they'd be willing to deal him for a 6th-round pick, but I'm not even sure he's going to make the roster. And wouldn't they take a 6th-round pick this year for someone like that? I think they would. So I'm going to say Steelers make a trade. They trade their 6th-round pick. Let's just call it 6th-round pick. They can trade their 6th-round pick to Arizona this year. Maybe Arizona's high on someone for Hakeem Butler. Done deal. It's my draft. It's my wishful thinking. That's the trade. That's the trade, and that's how it's happening. And I'd be thrilled to have him. I'd be thrilled to have him on the team. He's different than everybody else we got. And he has the ability to break the long ball. He has the ability to get up high and hit the jump ball. I'm on board with it. With the 232nd pick in the 7th round, the Pittsburgh Steelers take Calvin Throckmorton, guard, Oregon. 7th round, pick 232. Steelers take Calvin Throckmorton, guard, Oregon. Here's another one of those things where the Steelers have issues on the O-line. They need to get younger, unfortunately. Finney's gone, and this Throckmorton dude for Oregon played almost every position on the line for Oregon. And Oregon was no slouch line. It was a top quality line. So he played, I think the only one he didn't play was left tackle. So played left guard, played center, played right guard, played right tackle. That's position flexibility, and you know the Steelers love that. So I think that's the pick. I think, will he be there in the 7th round? I've seen this dude getting taken all over the place. I saw him getting taken on a mock draft in the 3rd. I've seen him getting taken on the mock draft in the 6th. I've seen him getting taken on mock draft, undrafted free agent after the draft. So no one seems to know what this dude's going to do. The analysis on him, he's a dude that can play a variety of positions, but who knows if he's going to excel at the end of the... He's a lottery ticket, basically. And so you want a position flexible lottery ticket. I'll take it. So that is my draft. Just to rattle them off here real quick. 2nd round, Grant Delpit. Safety, 3rd round, Jack Driscoll, offensive tackle. 4th round, Leke Fotu, defensive tackle, Utah. 4th round, A.J. Dillon, running back, Boston College. 6th round, traded to Arizona for Hakeem Butler. 7th round, Calvin Throckmorton, guard, Oregon. So, what are your thoughts on that draft? Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Check out the links to my Patreon page, my Spreadshirt shop. You want a t-shirt? Let me know. Let me know your ideal draft. I'm sure it's different than mine. I have not seen any draft where the Steelers traded for Hakeem Butler from Arizona. I don't even know if he's available for trade, but I'm going to take it anyway. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. But I'll see you soon. Till then. Bye, guys.